The Bitcoin futures ETF kind of clears a pathway towards the approval of a spot ETF, which is insanely bullish.
The Bitcoin ETF craze continues. ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, BITO, is less than a week old, already has north of $1 billion in assets.
Life is a learning journey. Embrace it with all it offers, because as you start learning, your mind broadens, and as it broadens, you'll find new opportunities. Look at Bitcoin and look at blockchain, because this is an asset that is not encumbered, meaning you can prove ownership and is fast and secure, and you can transfer it, and all of these things that meant it could be the basis of a financial system that was better. I saw that and I bought it immediately, and I got it. And I wrote one of the first research papers on the macro perspective of Bitcoin back in 2012 or 13, which was saying, okay, if this is like gold, then the value with gold at $1,300, Bitcoin should be worth about $1 million. And that made waves, obviously, because it was worth, currently at the time, was $200. And then I was an on-off investor in this space, and I sold out in 2017 early, and I'd made 10 times my money and felt like a hero, and I should have held on because the stuff I bought at $200, I sold it at $2,000 and it went to $20,000. I then focused on the space still, but I wasn't an investor. And this was the rise now of Ethereum and other blockchains. And I could see where this is going. Emil, again, had talked me through smart contracts and what it could mean for everything from the insurance industry to all sorts of different applications. And crypto was silent. And I was waiting. I knew that this was the opportunity and the savings vehicle and basically the life raft for the entire financial system. We've got this force, which is the financialization of the global economy and the fragility of it. And those things get exposed every time you have a recession. And we went from 2012, which was a European recession, almost a global recession. And now we're at 2019, and there hadn't been a recession. They come along every 5 to 8 years. So you're right smack in the zone. I see the global economy rolling over well before the pandemic. And it's like, well, we've got a recession coming. And we need to be on high alert. We can make a lot of money out of recessions in macro. You bet on bonds going up and stocks going down and all sorts of things. So I start positioning myself for that. Then the pandemic comes. And it's like, oh my God, the world is going to stop. So that is a total loss of economic output. So either everybody's going to go completely insolvent, or the central bank is going to have to do things and governments are going to have to do things that have never been done before. Either way, that is a bad outcome. For a number of reasons. So I had been waiting for the opportunity for macro, this business cycle, and crypto to meet. And this was going to be it. Either the system was going to be insolvent and nobody knew who owned what. So therefore something recorded on a blockchain, everyone's going to have the light bulb moment of, unlike physical gold, it's an international payments network. It has smart contracts. You can build stuff on it. So if the central bank pumps trillions of dollars into the economy, money becomes almost worthless. So usually that means the price of something falls. So if there's, a single Banksy piece of art, it can be worth whatever. If he creates an identical piece of art in his own hand and makes 10,000 of them, they'll be worth a fraction of that. So the same applies to money. You create too much money, it devalues it. And it's hard to see because every nation's doing it. So normally if the US did it, the dollar would collapse against the euro. But the Europeans are doing it, and the Japanese are doing it, and the Australians are doing it, the Brits are doing it, and the Chinese are doing it. So everyone's doing it at the same time. So what happens is your purchasing power in these rarer things like gold or even equities or cryptocurrencies, your purchasing power goes down. You can buy less of them for your dollar. So you're actually getting poorer. What is an asset in the end? An asset is a savings vehicle to deliver future consumption. So you buy something now to sell it later, so your future self has money that's protected over time. So that problem made me realize that, okay, if there's ever going to be a moment in time for crypto to become mainstream, this is it. There's no certainties in anything, just probabilities. Probabilistic analysis is all we do. So the probabilistic analysis was Bitcoin, which had been kind of trading in this sideways range called a triangle pattern for a lot of 2019 into March 2020, was likely to go up because people are going to get attracted to this, and also just because they're going to debase the currency. Because everybody had to liquidate any asset they could to get some cash because of this pandemic. And that was this moment in time that I've been waiting for. This is the moment in time that I really stepped up my exposure personally and also publicly to say, listen, I didn't like it in 2008 and 2012. I didn't have a ability to get the message across of what was coming, even though I'd forecasted it. It's one of the reasons I set up Real Vision, to make sure that people had a level playing field of information so they get access to all the world's great minds so that they can see what's going on. And then I could use this to my advantage to tell people, listen, this is your opportunity to save yourselves. Most of this stuff had basically happened in the last year. This is the same time in crypto we see the explosion of decentralized finance, DeFi, non-banks lending money, algorithms lending money, and stuff that banks did. You know, there's all of this stuff starts happening all at the same time. And then you start, and the other thing that had come over this period is the concept of social tokens. That let's say that those communities online, the Rottweiler lovers that we talked about before, well, because they transfer value, they've got pictures and they've got, products for their Rottweiler and, special chew toys and whatever. Well, how you organize complex adaptive societies usually is through a system of money.
Yeah.
And the gaming world have figured this out. So the moment you add a fungible money system that you can transfer from one world to the other, and you give it to a community, complex adaptive societies, that's religion, sovereign states, or large groups, generally ruled by sort of set of societal rules and a system of money or value exchange. And that was missing, the value exchange, the money part,
Absolutely.
until crypto came along.
Yes.
And then it created, because right now in the gaming world, before this, in the gaming world, all of that stuff was worthless when you left the game. And then it became the real economy, and you work for something that has real value that is transferable. Then the rise of NFTs come, and you realize that skins can be owned and traded in a way that was better than were being traded because it was complicated. But NFTs change all of that. So now you've got the unlock for the gaming world to turn the gaming world from a passion economy into the future global economy.